Good day, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to this thing of ours. Happy President's Day to you and yours, my friend. Welcome to Lionel Nation, where the news isn't just what the mainstream media heritage folks want you to believe. Oh, no. It's what citizen journalists and independent thinkers and foreign press and patriot observers like you are actually saying. It's today's world. News isn't just about headlines, it's about data. But data on its own means absolutely nothing unless it's true, unless it's factual, unless there's something to it. And here's the hard reality. Listen carefully. If you're reading or hearing anything on corporate media news, whether it's Fox, CNN, anything like that, you can guarantee, you can absolutely be sure that it's been filtered, it's been edited, processed, reworked until barely, and none of it resembles the truth. Think of it like processed food, stripped of any real substance, any nutrition, filled with artificial flavors designed to keep you hooked, I guess, or amused, because they can't really go too deep. That's why we look beyond the talking points, my friend, beyond the scripted narratives, and into the unvarnished, the real, the naked, the brutal, unfiltered. Just tell me what happened, but say it in your own particular style. Say it when something sucks. Say it like that SNL 50. Say it. Don't kiss everybody's arse like Fox News and New York Post. It sucked. It was stupid. It was pathetic. You know it, I know it, and they know it, but they can't do it because they're afraid. Alternative media, foreign outlets, investigative journalists. This is what it's about. This is the vast world of social media posts and firsthand accounts, my friend, because the brutal truth is here, right here. It doesn't come in neat little packages and little store. Oh, how cute. Let's go to the couch and let's. No. That's bullshit. It's done. It's finished. So sit back, my friends. Open your mind and open your heart and prepare not for just the truth, but an analysis of it, but what it really means. And no one else is going to dare to give you. This is Lionel Nation. You're a member of it. You are a member. You are a card-carrying member, even though I don't have a card, but theoretically you do. Where critical thinking is still alive, questioning is mandatory, and nothing is off limits. Think about this. It's the most important thing in the world. We have so much to talk to you about. The hardest thing in the world right now is to try to put everything together and say, how am I supposed to compress this into one nice little bit, an ort, something for you to grasp and understand. So, my friends, I want you to listen very, very carefully to me. Listen to me carefully. We're going to be talking about what happened last night. We're going to be talking about what's happening this week. We're going to be talking to you about everything that you need to know. What you need to know about everything, my friends. But first, before we begin, this important and this critical word. My friend, disaster doesn't knock. It kicks the door down when you least expect it. And when it hits the fan, and trust me, it will, food is the first thing to disappear. Now, the question is this. Will you be prepared or will you be scrambling like everybody else? Okay? Now, think about what I'm saying. This is no exaggeration. I'm here to help. I'm here to give you the honest truth. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to help you. No one's going to be there. The shelves at your local store are going to be emptied within hours. And trucks that should be delivering food will be stuck miles away. You'll be left standing in endless lines, hoping for scraps. But there's something you can do right now. There's a way to stop this nightmare before it stops. Head to preparewithlionel.com. You heard me, preparewithlionel.com. And take advantage of the special monthly offer from My Patriot Supply. Now you can get $50 off the legendary 4-week emergency food kit when you order today. Listen, I can't be any more serious than this. Why My Patriot Supply? Simple. It's a household name for a reason. Millions of families trust them because their kits aren't just about survival. They're about thriving when others are barely holding on. This kit provides over 2,000 calories a day and 12 essential vitamins and minerals. That's the fuel that you're going to need when your body and mind are under incredible pressure. You get meals that taste great, are American made, and last up to 25 years in storage. These aren't bland bunker meals. They're designed to keep you strong and focused when it matters most. But here's the deal, my friend, and listen carefully. Emergencies don't wait, and neither should you. Prepare today or pay tomorrow. Go to preparewithlionel.com now and claim your $50 discount and 6 free bonuses right now before this limited time offer vanishes. I can't emphasize this enough, okay? Because when the world goes dark, preparation is the only light you can count on. Indeed, indeed. You can count on me, my friends. Well, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Let's get Saturday Night Live, the 50th anniversary, just again proves yet again why no one takes Hollywood or whatever this thing is seriously anymore. Meanwhile, we'll talk about the Biden regime continues its America last policies while Kamala Harris stumbles through another embarrassing word salad. Oh, we've got it for you this morning. So let's dive in, shall we? First, SNL's 50th anniversary special bombs. And one particular note with this tone-deaf anti-Trump skit. Not only that, flatulence jokes, genital humor. Again, they can't get away from this. They never, ever got away from it. Nobody likes a good flatulent humor like I do, or a well-placed genital reference. However, what made it great at first was just funny things. It reminded you of how bad everything has become, if that makes any sense, my friend. This is just horrid. How about this new law with its 50th anniversary stinker? Taking a cheap shot at MAGA supporters with what is called a cringeworthy skit with that over the hill U.S. aid. This guy is so dirty. They've got him they own Tom Hanks. He's very, very talented, no doubt about this. But he plays this so-called racist Trump supporter. His character wearing a MAGA hat awkwardly hesitated to shake a black man's hand, an obvious attempt to paint President Trump and you as bigoted and ignorant. Do you see what they're doing? The leftist media predictably cheered on the skit, but even some liberal folks found it distasteful and outdated. It's like they didn't understand it. They thought it was maybe not 1975, but 2015, I guess. I don't know. The fact that SNL continues to push tired, hackneyed, hoary, ossified, otiose, concretized stereotypes instead of making real comedy news, in celebrating 50 years, getting new people. How about a new audience? There's a lot to be shown. There's a lot in their treasure chest, but it just shows you how desperate the left is, how desperate they are to stay relevant. Conservatives blasted this skit, whatever the hell you call it. It's yet another example of Hollywood elites looking down on working class Americans. Let me rephrase this, my friend. Looking down on you. You're stupid. You're a hick. You're some Trumper. They're sophisticated. Don't you understand this? You're stupid. You're a rube. You're a rusticator. You're some bucolic, hackneyed hayseed. You're some podunk, corn pone, turnip truck rube. Social media exploded with criticism, exposing this leftist, rancid left's hypocrisy. After all, these are the same people who champion tolerance. Remember this: tolerance, diversity, equity, while demonizing half the country. This latest stunt proves, again, why SNL is no longer funny, no longer edgy, no longer critical, no longer important, and no longer watched by anyone who values entertainment. And also this weird kind of this strange hagiography, this apotheosis, of the Promethean Lord Michael. I wanted to puke. Who is this guy? Now, in case you missed this, and we tried, this is genius actor Tom Hanks. Remember, let me just say something. You know what happened? USAID, is a metonym. You know what a metonym? It's a great word. It means something that is representative of a larger thing. For example, the Pentagon means defense. Wall Street means finance. Madison Avenue is kind of like advertising. Fleet Street or whatever. There's a USAID is almost like a metonym for this slush fund. It's where all the money went, where all the corruption went. That's what this is about. This is what we're talking about with Mr. Hanks.
Thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
Oh, no.
Like that.
Oh, no. It's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You
No laughing. Hear that?
Oh, well, all right. Well, thank you, my
No
brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it What Jeopardy?
No. We don't need it.
See, no laughing. You hear that? There's nobody laughing. Nobody gets it. And it's not because they realize it's politically incorrect. It's not funny. Rafael Legonde says, allow me to say this. Trump has a chance to pass ahead of Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt as presidents who reshaped the fabric of this country. Absolutely, Rafael. Thank you, sir. Raul Rodriguez says, when DOGE destroyed deep state, what's next? We will see. Rafael is back again with the vice president's speech in Europe 20 years ago. Will eclipse Lincoln's speech in Gettysburg for her importance. This speech will not only transform the USA, this speech is transforming the world. Historical. Touche, my friend. Johnny Mazza says, after seeing the politically correct orchestra and Al Sharpton, that was it for me. They don't get it. I'm not here to try to tell you what's funny. I'm telling you what's relevant. And there's a timeliness. There's a, the old joke about too soon? Remember the stories that, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the play? Too soon? Well, obviously the joke is not. NBC, Comcast, they just cut away. Now listen to this. Let's just talk business. They just basically scooped up, ablated, cut. It was like a lobectomy. Not a lobotomy, a lobectomy. They removed MSDNC. They don't know what the hell to do with this thing. None. It's gone. They're thinking about maybe getting it out of the 30 Rock building. NBC. So now they're saying you've got the whole world. Wall Street, another metonym. You've got finance. You've got everybody looking. All they had to do was talk about what's going on in the world. They're celebrating their 50 years of their accomplishment, not digging it to Trump. They still don't get it. They don't understand that not everybody thinks this is funny or thinks this is real. It's on, but you know what? Keep it up. Then there's this other story. Amy Klobuchar's Stand with Ukraine shirt. Not only does it spark a backlash, it doesn't. What about America first? Amy Klobuchar made waves, not for policy, but for wearing the Stand with Ukraine t-shirt. That is over with. While Americans struggle with inflation, crime, a border crisis, critics slammed this Minnesota dimwit Democrat for pandering, again, to foreign interests instead of fighting for the people she was elected to represent. It's tone deaf. It's stupid. And it highlights her obsession with spending billions and sending it over. Again, USAID. We're in the middle of going. This is why I don't understand it. We're in the middle of highlighting stories of condom distribution plans in Gaza, a Punch and Judy retrospective in Siberia, whatever it is. And she picks now. They're like SNL. They don't get it. They're like the Japanese soldier who doesn't know the war is over. It's incredible. And by the way, her posts, her social media, flooded with comments asking why she isn't wearing a Secure Our Border or Help Our Veterans shirt. Meanwhile, polling is showing that voters are tired of the never-ending cash flow to Ukraine, especially when Biden's disastrous economy continues to kill and hit Americans hard. The globalist, democratic, rancid left just doesn't get it. America first isn't just a slogan, it's a demand. It's this world. And let me show you something. When you look at this, you have to ask yourself, what is your theoretical reference point? Pilgrim MAGA. Pilgrim MAGA. Oh, my friends, let me try this again. With yes. Hang on a minute. There we go. Will Nancy and Chuck go to the netherworld now? I don't know what that means. That has a rather ominous sound to it. I don't think we're talking about Hades, some type of funereal reference to that. Chanta Hanasana says, DOGE Social Security numbers expose breaking news. DOGE Social Security number exposed breaking news. Have you seen the news, the news lately, specifically of, and this is important, how do I say this? This sheer lunacy involving the number of Social Security recipients over the age of 100. They've got people getting Social Security who are like 150 years old. Did you see this? Nobody ever thought to do this. I want to bring something to your attention here. Let me see if I can get this. Dear friend. I lost. This may be a bit awkward, but I'm going to try nonetheless to bring this forward. Did you?
He was standing.
Okay, this is important. This is important. Let me see if I can show this to you. This I want to show you. Hang on one second, so that you know this, so that you don't think I've lost my editorial chops here. StreamYard is a wonderful program. It is, if you're doing this, it is worth its weight in gold. Absolutely. But it is so sensitive. You make the slightest wrong move and all of the clips and everything that you have ready to go is gone. Okay.
Why
I want you to watch it. We're going to watch this. I know this is bear with me. This is Mearsheimer. Mearsheimer is an animal. Mearsheimer is the greatest. Mearsheimer. I don't think this is somebody. Oh, we'll get to this one. Oh, I'm giving you a little bit. This is Kamala's word salad. Okay, Mala. I'm bringing you up my. I'm sorry to have to do this to you. This is so
Crime to
okay,
insult.
there we go. These are the Germans. Where do you see this crew? This might be actually better. I'm giving you kind of like a snippet, a bit of an amuse-bouche, an hors d'oeuvre, a little sampling, if I will. Let me see if we do this one. And
what are the happy memories?
You're gonna love this. Oh, this is great. This is Margaret Trudeau. Wait till you get a load of this one. Oh, this one is like, there's a word for her, right? I can't say it. It's not right. It's impolite. It's not gentlemanly, but I think you know what it is.
Thank you. Hey.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, we don't need that one. Okay. Yeah, very good. I'm sorry. Forgive me for that one. Forgive me. But in a weird way, you kind of saw it in a different light. Cut Up Chatter says, ID of check cashers and arrest predicted soon. ID of check cashers and arrest predicted soon. ID of check. You mean the people who benefited? I mean the money who took from ASID? They didn't get a check. Nobody got a check. That was the number of Cayman Islands and foundations within foundations. Did you see one of the federal judges? One of the federal judges who allegedly looking, you've got to follow X. If you're not reading X, and also if you're not, this coming Saturday, before I forget, dear God, look at this. We even have, as Mrs. L says, party favors. Mrs. L has little bags of party favors for you. It's just like, think of it like a cross between a shower, an event, a nightclub, stand-up, a review at the Cutting Room Saturday night, the 22nd. It's going to be incredible. Tickets are still available. Please get your tickets early. You save money, and the venue, the food is great. The bar is shaped like a telly. It's incredible. This coming Saturday night, I'm going to be there, Mrs. L, at the Cutting Room. Be there or be square, my friends. Sorry. Let me give you a couple of things here, which is important to understand. And let's talk a little bit about foreign policy just for a second. And this is John Mearsheimer. I love this man. He, how do I say this? He says some things about Trump, and there's some things that Trump says. Listen, not everything Trump says is legit. The whole Israel thing is insane. You know it, and I know. But you know what? We live with that. What are you going to do? What are they going to do? What? Vote for Biden? His was even worse. But listen to John Mearsheimer. Listen.
Why didn't the Europeans get their way?
He is busting their chops. I love J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, all these bastards going after France, this numbnuts from Poland, the Germans. Screw you. You know who we are? There's two people who saved Europe, the Russians and us. Don't ever forget that. That's not just a trite statement. In any event, listen to, he is the best. Mearsheimer is like this jock, kind of like this avuncular guy, kind of like your grandpa or your uncle Jack, who will just break it off in you, but smile, kind of giggles a little bit, and he's killing you. Listen to this.
Why didn't the Europeans get their way? The Europeans didn't get the way because the Europeans danced to our tune. We run NATO.
Yeah.
This is a matter of power. We have all these fictions that we tell people about joint decision-making. The United States runs NATO. And the Europeans do what we tell them. You can talk to the Russians about this. You want to know why Putin and Lavrov send a letter to Washington on December 17th and say, that's the response we care about? They don't care about the response from Jens Stoltenberg. How many divisions does Jens Stoltenberg have, right? It's the United States of America that really matters. Pardon? No, it's not, but he was talking about Merkel and Sarkozy. And Bush got what he wanted. My question is, why didn't Merkel stand up to him? Merkel understood. Sarkozy understood. It was the Americans who were pursuing a remarkably foolish policy. If you just think about what Merkel said, Germany is going to suffer enormously from this catastrophe in Ukraine. It is going to have really negative effects. And I say to myself, apropos your comments, why didn't she throw down the gauntlet and say, under no circumstances are we allowing Ukraine to come into NATO? That's exactly what she should have done. But the Germans hardly ever do that. They always dance to our tunes.
I love this guy. And he said, and if you think this is good, wait till you hear what he says about Israel. Oh, he, for those of you keeping track at home, is a purveyor of and a proponent of and a student of realism. And I love this. Isn't that wonderful? Realism. You think that would be by virtue of just default realism. You would think people would say, well, realism. No, it means this is the way it is versus the way it should be. If it's good for you, I'll tell you. If it's bad for you, I'll tell you. Either way, Trump would have never, he could have. I hope he's got a back channel to Mearsheimer. He's my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. And he never gets angry. He never loses his mind. The best people, the best people is McGregor, Colonel McGregor, for military, one of the most absolute beautifully, how do I say this? Practical. And Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter talks about things that, you and I will talk about because we're civilians. Well, I think maybe we should go to here. And he goes, no, you can't do that because if you go back at the red, and it's going to be wintertime, and it's going to melt, and the tank treads are. He's like, what? He's a soldier. He's a Marine, but he's a soldier. And the one who really knows tank stuff is McGregor. These people are great. They kind of get a little personal when it comes to Israel. That's the problem. Let me explain something to you. When you get personal, when you get upset, when you say, I hate baby Netanyahu, it's like, take it easy. Take it easy. Remember something. You can learn a lot from boxing. Boxers never, ever lose their temper. When a boxer is in a shoot, as you say in wrestling, the real thing, it's really hard to tell the difference. I was watching this old match with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao there was a trainer they had who had Parkinson's or something, and the opponent was mocking Pacquiao's trainer or something who had Parkinson's. He had a noticeable tremor, and it was just brutal. They were all just mocking this man that they loved. And Pacquiao can hit you, 10 times in a second. He just comes out of nowhere. Anyway, so Pacquiao said, okay, I'm going to do that. I'll take care of this. Don't worry. And he destroyed this guy. He was so good, he waited to knock him out, to just disfigure him. But what he did was, and this is why I love boxing more than UFC. UFC is, remember, mark my words, we're going to go back to boxing. We're going to go back to boxing, and we're gonna do it a little bit differently, okay? We're gonna go back to boxing. But what he did was, and what I love to hear specifically of old boxers when they speak, he never takes big swings. Never. He takes these boop, but they punch. So anyway, my point is, when you want to analyze this, whether it's Biden, whatever, don't lose your temper. Don't lose your temper. Don't. The moment you do, first of all, you look like an idiot, and you also lose your efficacy. You're far more deadly when you're very calm. I don't know about you, but I'm the most dangerous when I'm calm. When I have time to think. When I react too quickly, that's when I make mistakes. But if I'm very calm and don't get upset, I think I'm far more effective. So this is the most incredible story. Listen to this. Germany, and by the way, let me remind you of one thing. I'm sure you know this. There you go. We live in a world where sometimes you have to look at various analogs to see how it works. That's why we do animal studies sometimes. That's why we do like the fruit fly. Remember Drosophila, the fruit fly. Fruit fly, we learn genetics. Sometimes we'll do rat studies, and they're just like we are. It may not seem like much to you, but you look by analogy. There are things that happen in Europe that are very, very critical to us. And we must pay attention because if they happen there, they're going to happen here. And sometimes people will look the other way because they say, well, that's Europe. Well, no, that's the world. And that's what's happening right now. Germany right now is just losing its mind. And by the way, look at Naomi Zeit. She is terrific. I think she's like 24 years old. Brilliant German young lady. Brilliant. Anyway, Germany is raiding citizens, their homes, over a meme. This is the future of the left's hate speech laws. You got to pay attention to this in a move that is just absolutely chilling, that exposes the dangers of censorship. Germany, you would think, do they not learn anything? It's just like a lot of folks. I hate to say it. I've got friends of mine whose relatives met a horrible fate in the Holocaust, who think nothing of returning the favor to Gazans, to Palestinians. Screw you. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, do you not learn anything? I always thought that there was this sensitivity people have. No, they're able. Part of being a human is being able to differentiate your particular plight with theirs. So German authorities raided this private residence over an online meme. Yes, a meme. And Germany's radical speech laws, which criminalize this misinformation, I guess, have sparked an international debate about government overreach. Free speech advocates all over the world are warning that this is exactly where the radical left wants to take America. By the way, as long as a free speech, they don't mind if it maligns or impugns or libels or defames Trump. That's a different story. But punishing citizens for expressing opinions that don't align with state-approved narratives? So Vice President J.D. Vance took CBS's Margaret Brennan to task after she outrageously suggested that Nazis weaponize free speech to justify their atrocities. This kind of historical revisionism is straight out of the leftist playbook. In fact, it shut down dissent by equating speech with violence. If Germany's crackdown on memes sounds extreme to you, just wait. Democrats are pushing for similar hate speech right here in our home. This is incredible. And let me give you another one too. There's this Munich security chairman. There was this event. Was in tears over J.D. Vance's America's First speech. See, this is what I love about J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio. I may not have been. I thought I liked J.D. Vance before. I thought Pete Hegseth is phenomenal. They follow their orders. Pam Bondi, Pamela Joe, is just absolutely brutal. But J.D. Vance didn't hold back at the Munich Security Conference, delivering this speech that they're still talking about that left the European leaders shaken, literally. This Christoph Huchsen, this staunch EU bureaucrat, was in tears after Vance called out European leaders for their failures in security and defense. And the speech, by the way, also underscored growing tensions between America and the globalist elites, which is great, who expect endless U.S. support while doing little to secure their own nations. You see, this is called the America First agenda. Don't kid yourself. Yeah, there's MAGA. Yeah, there's USA. Yeah, there's DOGE. But the America First agenda is making waves on the world stage. And it's clear that some of these European folks, they don't know how to handle it. J.D. Vance made one thing extremely clear. Under Trump's leadership, America will no longer be Europe's piggy bank. And this Margaret Brennan, again, I'm going to show you this in a moment. She does this. She's claiming that the Nazis against weaponized free speech. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. She says they weaponized free speech to commit genocide. You heard me right. The mainstream media is now blaming free speech for the Holocaust. This is the latest desperate, insane attempt by this radical left to justify their war on speech and ideas. Speech is idea, speech is thought, speech is expression. And it pushes the idea that free expression is somehow dangerous unless it aligns with theirs. I mean, this is J.D. Vance, Rubio called her absurd. Watch this. Let me give you a couple of moments here. This is just incredible. Watch this. This is old Marco Rubio. This is Secretary of State Marco Rubio from Florida, by the way.
He was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it.
She's no idea.
And you know that the censorship
I have to disagree with
was
you.
specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you.
Good. Watch this.
Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history.
You see,
Well, he was standing.
This is another one. It's one thing for you to think something. You know, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, the great Daniel Patrick Moynihan, the senator from New York, ambassador to the UN, said, "You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts." And Tolstoy, I think probably my favorite expression or phrase or aphorism or apothegm or bromide or chestnut or whatever you want to call it. The greatest is, history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. It's incredible. Listen to what's going on in Germany now. Prosecutors, this is German. Listen, and this is the scariest thing. She doesn't even have the decency of providing a particular tone of voice that frames it, if you will, within the solemnity or the cautious, delivery of somebody who's like, and if you like something, and if you misquote, remember that great line on the internet that says, "Don't believe everything you hear on the don't believe everything you read on the internet," and it was attributed to Abraham Lincoln. Okay, obviously you got the joke. Can you believe this? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Just let that sink in for a moment, and let this sink in as well. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Here's something about the left, the people that we call the left. There was a time when they were considered to be the bastions, the defenders of free speech. This is another world right now. This is authoritarian. This is nuts. And this Margaret Brennan from CBS, again, at a time when they are under such scrutiny, when boards of directors, when investors, when the entire media group are looking at her and wondering, what are you doing? Margaret Brennan won't mention that because her real goal is silencing voices that challenge the leftist narrative. She is absolutely this stay behind to perpetuate this. She doesn't even understand, just like that Caitlin Collins doesn't understand. You're ruining your career. When this closes down, who wants you? You're going to be associated with this. They don't even have that sense of self-preservation to even worry about it. It's incredible. Our good friend Phantomus Phantos, Germany is forgiven, invented gummy bears. There you go. Pilgrim Media says, Mrs. Bondi is the junkyard dog we're looking for. Absolutely. A cut up says, David hit Goliath with finesse. Yes, you are correct. Inter alia, among other things, to be sure. Here's another story I love. And remember, this, what we'll call it DOGE, kind of a thing, but there's the FAA crackdown is cleaning house after the Washington, D.C. air tragedy. The Trump administration is taking action, finally, and firing several hundred FAA probationary employees following the recent mid-air tragedy over D.C. Don't forget that one. These employees responsible for critical air traffic and control infrastructure had been under scrutiny for incompetence and negligence. And Democrats and unions are already howling. But the fact is, lives were lost due to failed oversight, due to DEI. And those who listen to DEI, D-I-E-D. President Trump isn't wasting time fixing the problem. For years, the FAA has been bogged down by this woke hiring lunacy. It's the strangest thing in the world. Instead of prioritizing safety and merit and meritocracies, this is exactly the kind of no-nonsense leadership that gets results, that we put him in office for. Something Biden's bloated, bilious, and bombastic bureaucracy would never even dare to attempt. Here we go. Just when you thought it was too late, Kamala gets roasted for another rambling, incoherent, logoria speech. She's at it again, delivering yet another bizarre, incoherent, that left audiences scratching their heads. She was speaking to a Broadway cast. I think she went to two. Mrs. L told me she went to 2 Broadway shows. She unleashed this classic word salad, so confusing, it made Joe Biden look articulate. Social media, of course, exploded with mockery, many of them comparing her to a drunk auntie who just won't stop talking at the Thanksgiving dinner. And at this point, it's clear that she is completely unfit for office, yet the Democrats keep pushing her as a serious leader. Again, are they that crazy or that stupid or yes? Anyway, Harris's never-ending stream of nonsense speeches is just another reminder of the disaster that is waiting in the wings should she somehow make it to the hustings again. Here she is. Listen carefully. And you know, somebody would say to her, now listen, Kamala, if you're going to speak, make sure you just keep your words tight. Don't go off and wax philosophic, okay? You got it? Watch.
Oh my goodness. You know, I don't get out much these days. And then, you know, but spirit's tired, but it cannot be defeated. Never let anybody defeat that. Because then what do we have left? When we think about like these moments where we see things that are being taken, but also let's see it as a, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So where there's a vacancy, then let's fill it. Right?
Look at them looking around.
And let's know that the reality is that the progress of our nation has always been about the expansion of rights, not the restriction of rights. We're seeing a U-turn right now. For those rights to be maintained, which means we have to be vigilant, and it's just the nature of it. Because, I mean, look at this beautiful play and everything that we know he ended up, he had to suppress so much. But he knew, and he took those risks, but we have to be clear-eyed. And it doesn't mean we don't see the beauty in everything, right?
Yeah.
These things all coexist. But I believe we fight for something, not against something.
That's the word.
Right. And that's our optimism, right?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. With that, I'll
Some people think she's on heroin. I don't know about that. I don't know what it is. I can't, there's no slurring, but it's the context. It's the subject matter that makes you wonder, dear heavenly God, how does this happen? You know what she reminds me of? Do you ever see somebody, sometimes they're like a war veteran and they have a helmet and their helmet has a bullet hole in it. And he said, this is what I was wearing. I came this close. Cut up said that made her nauseous. Oh, absolutely. It's like we came this close. She could have won. And if you ever think that, I'm not saying she could have won by merit. She could have won by virtue of just having it thrown, like a 2020 deal. All right. Musk predicts a future where money is obsolete. Are we ready for AI overlord? Listen to this. Elon Musk is making waves again, predicting a future dominated by super intelligent humanoid robots, where money is a thing of the past. Well, maybe cash. Elon suggested that AI advancements will make traditional jobs irrelevant, sparking debate about whether humans will play and this is the truth, I'm sorry, what role humans are going to play in the increasingly automated world. But also, while some see this as an exciting leap forward, others are warning of the dangers, especially as, big tech, big shots continue to push censorship and globalist agendas. Conservatives, as you can understand, have long been, and I think maybe not just conservative, but long been skeptical of unchecked AI development and all that. And I know you have to, because we don't really know what it is, but there's this fear of a future where, elites or these super intelligent systems run the show. Now, if Elon is right, the question isn't whether AI is going to change the world, but who will be in charge when it does. This is critical. It's going to happen whether you like this or not. And nobody is talking about it. Pilgrim says her drunken ebonics rants are the best. I like those. I like when she goes, anytime somebody goes into a particular frame of reference that is not their own. And especially when people who have no idea of the hood or have no connection whatsoever of their, I love the word negritude, all of a sudden break into this. Hey, look at me. I'm one of y'all. And it's so funny. How about this? The USDA slashes woke contracts, saving us millions. Again, there's no end to this. The Bidens, radical left, took another major hit as the USDA announced the cancellations of hundreds of millions of dollars in woke contracts. This is incredible. These taxpayer-funded programs, I guess, these DEI programs that push radical diversity and all that kind of stuff, had nothing to do with agriculture and everything to do with leftist ideology. And we're learning now how it permeated everything. Republicans are celebrating this. Rational people are celebrating this, calling it a long overdue step regarding the draining the swamp of wasteful spending. But the USDA's shift proves, and this is what's critical about this, that Americans are absolutely tired of their hard-earned money being funneled into this radical left progressive pet projects that have nothing to do with agriculture. This is absolutely critical. This is America first, my friend. America first. I'm still reading new things about Marco Rubio just wrecking this Brennan, blasting her. This, you have no idea. And there's something about going after or touching that third rail of the Holocaust, using it, claiming to use it for yourself. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. How about a new one too? Bobby Kennedy slashing, destroying CDC bureaucracy on day one. I love this. As he wastes no time in following through with this. As the new health chief, This is so beautiful, making deep cuts, amputating this bloated, bilious, bloated, I think I said this, scandal-ridden CDC. The CDC, just say the CDC. Oh my God. On his first day, Bobby the Deuce went after the agency's so-called, this is my favorite, disease detectives, gutting them, gutting this ineffective nonsense, the bureaucrats and bureaucracy who spend more time pushing COVID, fear-mongering, and draconian destruction of free speech and the like, rather than basically protecting public health. And this move, yet again, sends another clear message. How many clear messages can they take? No more junk science, no more Fauci-style deception, no more taxpayer dollars funding useless studies, ridiculous things that promote big pharma. Under that horrible pre-existing administration, the CDC became a propaganda arm for lockdowns, vaccine mandates, leftist fear tactics. Bobby Jr.'s aggressive, and remember, his family. One of the reasons why I am convinced that his cousin Caroline hate him so much was they were on the USAID bandwagon themselves. He's ruining it. This signals what the return of real accountability in Washington. This is just incredible. And the liberal media, these radical lefties, are already in meltdown. They're crying and screaming about public health risks and the end of safety. But let's be real about this. The risk was letting these incompetent bureaucrats run the show. And America is finally getting a health department that works for the people. I mean, it kind of goes without saying. It's almost kind of, it's like, no duh. I realize it, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of things that kind of sound like, transparency. Yes, because it's true. Cut Up says, never forget the Terminator. The robot built a better robot. Don't forget, sit down, Dave. I took care of everything as windows and doors locked. Oh, yeah, 2001. Open the pod door, babe. Sorry, Hal. Remember that, Hal, the computer? Raul Rodriguez says, I became aware of super artificial intelligence. Well, let me explain something. You could talk about this all day long. Nothing's being done to stop it, or I don't think most people really grasp even what it means. I really don't. Did you hear the latest Rachel Maddow caught lying, pushing these outrageous lies about the Stonewall riots? Did you hear this one? You would think this sapphic historian would know kind of the rules of history about the Stonewall riots. Rachel Maddow, who's now doing 5 days a week, when she only did one a month for $35 or so million, you're not going to be seeing her. Believe me. They're going to push her away. They're going to get rid of her. They're going to make her do something she won't be able to do, like documentaries that people care about. But anyway, Rachel's in hot water after spewing more bilge and lies. Another false narrative, this time about the Stonewall riots. This mistress of false punditry claimed on air that riots were led by transgender activists, which is a revisionist spin that completely ignores history. Completely. Critics jumped all over her and said, what are you talking about? They pointed out that the actual events had little to do with today's identity politics and everything to do with resisting police corruption. Her lie sparked, again, somebody who doesn't know the past, her lie just ignites this anger online, with many people calling it yet another example of the left rewriting history to fit their narrative. But this is nothing new. Rachel has a long history of misleading her audience, from Russian collusion hoaxes to COVID hysteria, and recently the story about the Tesla contract that was signed under Biden. MSDNC, all 12 viewers, might buy her nonsense, but Americans who value the truth aren't falling for it for a moment. And once again, mainstream media proves it's more interested in activism than journalism. They don't care about this. This is where we are, my friends. This is the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. I don't think it's possible. I really don't think. I don't think it's possible for people to grasp, to understand, and I'm having a hard time. Number one, the level of not corruption, but how everything was corrupt. It was the entire government was corrupt under the Biden administration. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. You really don't. Everything. And now it's all being exposed. And the thing that is the most important to understand about these people, they don't understand it. When I watched that SNL thing, it reminded me. When you looked out into the audience, there's Kevin Costner, Keith Richards. It was sad. It was like this attempt to pat themselves on the back, this hagiography of Lorne Michaels, doing these priceless, these jokes that weren't. It was, again, the people who didn't know the war was over. The Japanese soldier, Hirono, what's his name? Who didn't know. They still think they're cool. And there hasn't been a memo that's gone around. You're going to find out, I predict, that this was paid by USAID or some cultural something or other, some diversity. Somebody somewhere pocketed the money. Alec Baldwin had one of the most, it was the most awkward, I don't know if he said his name or somebody said, I don't know what it was. It looked forced, fake, phony. It was like people trying to show you Bill Murray and other people saying, look how cool we still are. They even tried Jack Nicholson. It was kind of sad. I don't know if Jack Nicholson is with us anymore in terms of mental. I don't know. I hope he is. Let me also tell you something. Without mentioning names, the level of predation that took place years ago in Hollywood during his regime in the 60s, you better hope to God the statute of limitations wears off. And speaking of which, you know that Justin Trudeau, people believe that his mama Margaret and Fidel may have done the horizontal mambo, played hide the panatella, and that some suggest that Justin is indeed the son of, or the product of that particular connubial act of intromission. This is...
What are the happy memories? The ones that where you...
This is this guy, Bill Boggs. Bill Boggs had this New York show, and you can see him kind of walking around. But Bill Boggs had a really very, very important show when New York was kind of interesting. But this is Margaret Trudeau talking about that halcyon time for your edification, perusal, and review.
A lot of fun.
What are the happy memories? The ones that where you transcended the protocol, where it didn't make any difference. Would Cuba be one with Castro?
Oh, yes. We had a lovely time in Cuba. It was wonderful.
Let's talk about some of the people that you had your paths crossed with. For example,
Can I get a number, girl? Can I get a number, girl? Can I get a number, girl? Every time she see me, she start kissing and biting, fucking and fighting. She want to see a cocky mountain, she a riding, pulling me inside her. So I pull up, we butt naked under my cover. The lights out, baby, I'm starting to wonder. Girl, I'ma have to keep 100. Can I get you a top?
Oops.
Pulling me inside.
See, here we go. Look at this. Huh? There she is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Studio 54. Yeah, she was. I don't know. What do you know about that? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Makes you wonder that. Ooh, Papa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One never knows. One never knows. This is one of the smartest people you will ever know. Isn't that something? Take a look at that. Yeah. Well, there you go, my friends. What a day, huh? What a rare mood I'm in. Isn't that something? And there you have it. My friends, feel imbued in the spirit of truth. Let it all kind of sink in. Let everything sink in. Raul and Cut Up Chatter, I thank you so much. And Fantomas, Fanta, thank you. Chantha Hanasana, thank you as well. Johnny Mazespaz, thank you. Rafael Legonde, thank you. All right, dear friends. Remember, Saturday night, the 22nd, at the Cutting Room. Tickets are available. I'm telling you, nobody does what we're going to do. This is, you've heard me say it many times. It's not comedy. It's not, it's like nothing anybody can do. Good luck with this. Try doing what we do. Tickets are available. Just look at the little information here. There it is below. Tickets at the Cutting Room. All right, dear friends. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She's this far away to being to the next HOV lane. This far away. Lynn's Warriors. I ask you, sign up for her incredible work she's doing. Also, Lionel Legal, our sister station. And also, which is very, very important, very, very critical, I ask that you, dear friends, I ask that you do something very, very important. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure you are subscribed. This is critical, absolutely critical. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. This weekend, we had a rainstorm, winds, and I mean, it was great day to be inside. Great day. I have so enjoyed being with us today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great and glorious day. And until we meet again, my friends, remember this following this valedictory, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da.